This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and just wanted to shoot the breeze with you guys. Kind of about a great conversation I had, and this is one of the reasons why I like doing this YouTube stuff, is that there's people who I could have a conversation about. They could disagree about some things, but we could do it in such a rational and cool way. Like, this video is being inspired by someone who commented on one of my Battlefront videos. And I'm going to see if I could pronounce his name, because the way it's spelled is kind of off, so excuse me, sir, if I mess it up. But I believe it's Knifer Jord. It's spelled K-N-1-F-3-R-J-O-R-D. And he made a comment about how he was wondering why they took features away from Battlefront, and I was, coming back. I think the only thing they really took away was like the space element battles. They weren't really that, because I'm in the fence of people kind of have their nostalgia twisted. Battlefront was never a campaign heavy type of game. It was the mission strung together in a sort of narrative. Two, they did expand upon that and they fleshed it out a little bit more, but for the most part, you played the game the same way offline as you did on, and the campaign, quote unquote, wasn't the basis. I think 2 stepped it up more so than anything with the galactic conquest element than a true campaign. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. It's an argument already made. Anyway, but we're talking about things, and he was just like, he liked the fact that they had the prequel stuff in there, the older material that covered the vast universe, that allowed you to have a ton more content than you are going to have probably with Battlefront, the one that's coming out now, because this movie is limited. I'm sorry, not this movie, but this game is limited to basically the episodes 4 and 6 era and the start of The Force Awakens. So they've cut out pretty much the prequel era. And we were going back and forth, and I was saying they're probably because they're trying to probably disconnect a little bit from something that a lot of people have a negative opinion about. He didn't have a negative opinion about the prequels. He liked the era, and we had a good conversation, because honestly, I actually like the prequel era. What I didn't like was the prequel movies, and I said this to him. And the reason why I didn't like the prequel movies is because episode 1 through 3, it wasn't that the story or the premise was bad, it was the execution. It was seriously execution. And sorry, I paused real quick because I'm looking at some comment that I have on. People still put some of the stupidest comments on videos. Anyway, I'm not even gonna go there. But no, I was basically saying, it was George Lucas's writing that kind of hampered it. The things that he did, the silliness that he put in there, like the metachlorine things, that wasn't necessary. That kind of made you scratch your head. The whole Padme dying of a broken heart type of scenario that they were fleshing out at the end. And of course the acting. There was some pretty spotty acting. Again, I think that lends more though to the script more than anything, although Hayden Christensen wasn't the best choice for Anakin. Yeah, he just wasn't. His emotional range was kind of off to me. But that's just me. I don't know about you guys. But otherwise, there were a lot of good things in the prequels that really worked well. I loved the basis for how the Empire took control. The whole clone world, The Clone Wars was brilliant. Like, honestly, if you could take the best of those movies and mix them up with the best stuff that was done in the cartoons that they did for the Clone War era, those movies would be great, would be totally phenomenal. But it just all goes back to execution. That being said, part of our conversation was there's a missed opportunity with Battlefront. And I think this is the one thing that people probably, if anything, should have a problem with, is that by taking out the Clone Wars era and kind of truncating things down, you're missing out on an opportunity for some very epic moments in this game. I mean, again, say what you will about the Clone Wars series. There were, like Knifer George said, some great epic battles in there. I'm not totally huge on the Battle of Naboo, but at the same time, it was a great battle as far as scope. Again, the reason I'm not big on it is execution. The silliness of Jar Jar in it, they could have just, take that out. The comic relief, that was not necessary. But if you were to just break that down to just like look at the size of the Naboo army and look at the size of the Federation, that was cool. That was a cool engagement. You take the battle in the second one, the second movie, Attack of the Clones, when they were rushing Dooku, that was great. That would be a great piece, and there was some great equipment, great vehicles in there that would be cool to use. Being able to beat the clones would be cool as well. I mean, that was a great set piece battle right there. They had pieces that they could use from that era, and they could have probably expanded upon that, because going to the cartoons, looking at some of the things that happened in the cartoons, there were opportunities for battles there that you could kind of mix into the fold. So they kind of are missing a beat there. That would be, I am totally agree with Knifer George that would be one of the things they could do that would be phenomenal. Now, here's the problem that we both came up with too, is that the thing is, we're in the era of DLC content. DLC is king. I wouldn't put it past them to have some type of $50, $60 season pass where you got a bunch of maps. And I will say this, for value's sake, Knifer, you are kind of right. If they were to do it to where you got a ton of maps each DLC, like 4 or 5 planets, not just maps but planets, because each planet generally has several different battle areas. So that would be cool if you gave me, like, say 4 or 5 planets with 4 different maps of each own in this DLC season pass for $50 for $50 dollars. That's a lot of content you could do, because I get 4 maps each segment. Say they'll sell them separately for $15, $20, but if you get the season pass, it's $50, $60. So break that down from the $60 dollar mark. $15 for potentially 16 to 20 new battles, and also some new equipment, stuff like that. That's not bad. Again, I'm not huge on DLC. But at the same time, if you made it something that was kind of, it had its value, that would work for me. So I could see that happening. But more than likely, that's where you're going to get the other stuff. Space battles, not that really concerned. I'm actually more intrigued by the on-land stuff. I feel like I want a game with the space battles that's dedicated to just the space stuff. Like, I want another TIE Fighter versus X-Wing, or X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. You know what I mean? I want something like that where I can get these huge, epic intergalactic space battles, but focused on it. I don't want it just to be a part of the package. One of the things about Battlefront 2 was that you had space battles that were like in and out, like the one from episode 1, where you would fly some places, you fight, and then you'd land, you get on the ground, and like, okay, that's okay, I guess, but I want dedicated space battles. That's what I would like to see. And this is leading off to the other tangent of this video, which is what type of Star Wars games I would like to see. Again, TIE Fighter, X-Wing series, bring those back. X-Wing, TIE Fighter. Forget which way they put it. I think they've had it both ways, to be quite honest. But I want that. I want that more. I can honestly see that being tremendous with the way technology has gone in game development. I think that they'll be able to pull that off on a grander scale than they were back in the day. It would flow a lot smoother, and it would just be a lot more dynamic. That would be awesome. That'd be fucking insane. I do want to see the Jedi Knight series kind of come back too. Now that they're doing these standoff movies, why can't we have these one-shot games like we used to have? That was pretty cool. I forget dude's name too, and I'm gonna have to look it up right now to say what his name is. The main character from the Jedi Knight series, Kyle Katarn. Yeah, give us another Kyle Katarn to go with. Give us, a random Jedi's adventures in this world. I'm assuming that there is going to be some establishment of the Jedi Academy coming within these next set of movies, which I kind of pray that they let Luke establish the Jedi Academy again and have Jedis trained all over the place. That'd be awesome. And that would lead to a ton of other games that you can use. So you could have more Kyle Katarns out there. More characters out there. You even give us some adventures of female Jedis to go with. They could flesh that out very, very well. What else would I like to see? I'd like to see another Rogue Squadron. I think now you could do a better job of that as well. Again, the scope of space battles should definitely be able to be done in a much grander, well executed way. And I'm a fan of Wedge, so give Wedge his shine. Y'all can give him his due, definitely. Mr. Antilles, he got his shine in the books, in the comics. Why not let him get his shine in the game? Speaking of which, I'm curious if he's going to be in any of the movies as well. Yeah, anybody know that? Please let me know. So I would love to see that come about too. There's so many places that they can go. They can do a game from the Empire standpoint. Again, thinking one-off, they can give us prequels to The Force Awakens. Let us know what was up with Finn leading up to the events of Force Awakens. There's so many game topics, but the rest of the ideas I'll leave to you guys. Please let me know, what would you like to see in a Star Wars game? What would you honestly like to see besides the campaign done with Battlefront? Let's get over that part, people. It's been announced, it's been said. We can move on to that, hopefully. And please, the petitions, y'all, really, I need y'all to find better uses of petitions. There's a lot of things that goes on in this world that needs to be seriously addressed and petitioned for. Having them put in Fox campaigns that are similar to Battlefront 2 is not one of those things. Sorry, people. Sorry. But just let me know what you think, guys. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'll hot you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.